Hello everyone, it's Onita, and today we are going to be rearranging the bookshelves, and I want to rearrange them in a way where I have all of my unread books in one section and all the books I have read from the unread section in another area kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to be mainly focusing on the standalone shelf, which is right behind me, and also that spinning bookcase that you can see in the corner there. I'm going to be focusing on those shelves more than my series shelf, which is right back there. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to talk through what I want to do. So this top shelf here, you can see is the top shelf. I got my two combi veins, my Lego combi vein sets up there. And here is the shelf where I want to put all of the books that I have read from the books that I have not read. So what I'm trying to say is, Blood Over Brighthaven to Nimona, I have read those books. So I want to move those books up to that top shelf there, and then move all of those books down here, and then also maybe down here as well to that shelf. I do have a spinning bookcase that I could use as well, since I have a little bit of room there to put more books. So that's what I'm going to do. I just want to reshuffle so I can have a better visual representation of the books I have read versus the books I have not read yet. And I have finished with the bookshelf reorganization. I've had it in my head for a few weeks how I wanted to set it out, so that's why it did not take me long to do, which I'm really grateful for, because I want to talk more about the books that I have, like the unread books on my shelf. So I'll give it a few days to see how I want to talk about it, how I want to, like, if I want to number it all or not, I don't know. The bookshelf organization is complete. I even went to my series shelf over there and I took some books out. But I will now give you a little bit of a tour into how it's all looking. This is what we have. All of those books at the top there have all been read. I think there's 7 if I can count properly. Look at all the shelf space I have up there too. It's looking really, really good. And then we go down here and it could use some work. I am currently reading Jurassic Park at the moment. I just have another edition of it. So I'm currently reading that at the moment. We have like a nice little mixture there. This shelf down here I have not touched. All of those books on this shelf here has been read, so I don't want to touch it. This shelf down here has also been read. I could end up putting more books that I have read from the other shelves that I haven't read from. I could put more books on this shelf right here. But again, another little mixture of books here. And then down here, these are all the books I have not read either, that I have either recently purchased or have been on my TBR for a little while. Now we're getting into the spinning bookcase. Let's just start off with the romance because that's where it is right now. So I have my Ali Hazelwood collection right here. And I have some like sci-fi. And then I completely forgot about Olivia Blake, so I had to put her standalone books there. Spin her around. This is kind of like my Asian fiction section. This shelf, and this shelf have kind of been like this for a little while, but I added 2 extra books to it. Maggie Stiefvater and Battle Royale. It's mostly Asian fiction. And then we just have like a random ass area. These books I read for a reading vlog where I tried a chapter to see if I would unhaul it or not. I enjoyed these enough to either keep them or want to continue reading with them. I then have Stephen King here, more Stephen King there with a little bit of extra stuff. We got a fantasy romance, a historical fiction, and a horror. And then I have my standalone fantasy, aka the vampire books. I then have poetry and some classics, and I ended up going to my series shelf, which you have seen, and I ended up taking Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale duology. I ended up taking those books off the shelf and putting them here since this is kind of like the classic section of this rotating bookshelf. I wanted to keep them together kind of thing. I think we have one more. And no, we are back to the romance section again. And while we just talked about the series, I might as well take you to the series bookshelf and show you how that is looking. Series shelf is looking good. If it'll focus for me, please. Okay, focus wasn't working there, but I got it fixed up now. So this is my series shelf. I have this trilogy right here is very historical fantasy. I want to give this trilogy another go because I enjoyed it. It just wasn't as fantasy as I thought it was going to be. Then I have the Witcher series. Then I have the Ernest Cunningham series, which does not make sense on the shelf, but I've got it there for the time being. I then have the June Chronicles, which I'm really, really enjoying. I'm up to book 3 right now. I then have my collection of bookmarks in my Game of Thrones mug. This is a gift that someone gave me, and I love it a lot. My Lord of the Rings J.R.R. Tolkien. I then have the Song of Ice and Fire series, and then I have the Passage trilogy by Justin Cronin. It is a vampire trilogy, and I loved it a lot. Between publication days, or between publication dates releases, there has been like years and years in between the publication dates, so I've forgotten a lot of things. I then have my J. Kristoff collection. I have Nevernight trilogy, which I enjoyed, but my absolute favorite is definitely the Empire of the Vampire series. It is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I ended up finishing this series with Empire of the Dawn in January, and it was my first 5-star book in like what, little over a year, I think I said. So I'm very, very excited about that. I then have the Crowns of Nyaxia series here, and I decided to leave a little bit of space because it is going to be a 6-book series, and it's just duologies of following different characters. So I wanted to leave room for the other two books in this universe. I then have, this is where I feel like I should have put the Ernest Cunningham series, but I didn't, and I don't think I will for a little while yet. But this is my manga slash graphic novel collection. It's a little small at the moment, but that's okay. And it's okay because of the fact that, one, manga costs a lot of money. Two, I'm really particular with which series I want to buy physically. So I'm very happy with how it's looking so far. I will rearrange it again once I've read everything. Even on my standalone bookshelf, I will reconfigure everything once everything is done, once everything, or a very large majority of things, have been read. And then we got the non-fiction slash special edition shelf. I'm just leaving it for the time being. I'm not touching it unless another illustrated edition of the Empire of the Vampire trilogy comes out, where it's like the colored edition. Unless another one of those books comes out, the last one in the trilogy, then I'll be buying it, then rearranging a little bit. But no, that's it for that shelf. I think that's going to be it for the bookshelf reorganization section of this video. Give me a few days to figure out how I want to talk about the number of unread books I have, and I will see you in a few seconds when I've come to that decision and when I talk to you about all the unread books I have. Alright, it's been a few days now, and I think we're just going to chat. We're just going to chat about the books, not all of them, but we're going to chat about the books that I have not read. I did a little bit of calculations, a little bit of morning math, which we like to keep morning math nice and simple. So, the books that I'm going to be talking about, like the unread books on my standalone shelf and the rotating bookshelf, overall I have 161 books on both shelves. I have read 71 books, and I have to read 90 books in order for me to complete the shelf, completely read all of the books that I have not read yet. Let's just go, let's just keep it casual, because like I said, I don't want to talk too much about the books, considering that I do want to make reading vlogs out of them. So I'm going to flip you around and we'll chat about the books. I'm not going to worry about the series shelf that you can see over. Oh my gosh. We're not going to worry too much about the series shelf over there because I have read most of the books on this series shelf here. We are not going to worry too much about talking through all of the unread books I have on my series shelf, because there's not many that I have unread, which is fantastic news to me. Making my way downtown, walking. Okay, now we are on the standalone shelf. So this shelf, I've already read the books, and you can see I've just finished reading Jurassic Park last night for a reading vlog that I'm really excited about. So we're going to be talking about this shelf right now. So we have Ariadne, which is like a Greek mythology retelling, and look how gorgeous it is. Absolutely stunning. I love the gold foiling on it. Hamnet has a movie adaptation that doesn't look too bad. This is like a historical fiction. And then I got my Grady Hendrix books. I have The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. It's a really stunning cover, and it's got red sprayed edges. You can see it's got some sort of stenciling as well. And I love, there's like foiling on it as well on the end papers, and just like a little simple foiling on the cover of a little scorpion in a jar. Was this a complete cover buy? Yeah, kind of. But also with what's underneath the covers as well was really what made me buy the book. I've got a book from an Australian author. This is actually, if it will open up, it's actually numbered. So we've got like a nice pink moon here, and it's actually, see, signed, and there's like, it's like a limited edition copy, but it doesn't have the number of copies, which is really weird to me. Nice foiling on the cover as well. We got a book I'm scared to read, but I'm pushing myself to read. It's House of Leaves. So we got a bit of a book that intimidates the crap out of me. We got a couple of Asian fiction books here. This one I'm really excited about, Love Letters to a Serial Killer. I've heard this one is actually pretty wild and I'm really excited to read it. As Many Souls as Stars. I actually stumbled across it on Apple Books. It followed me around that whole day. I saw it at the bookshop and I thought, well, why not? I don't know if you can really tell properly, but it has this kind of like embroidery and it looks absolutely stunning. And then we just got a bit of a mishmash of some historical fiction, sci-fi, thriller, a short story collection, and then we got some books over here as well. These two books I want to do for like a specific dedicated reading vlog to reading these two books. I'm not looking forward to it, but it's got to be done. I want to push myself, just like I want to push myself to read House of Leaves. It's got to be done. It's got to be read. We're not going to worry about this shelf because I've already read the books on this shelf. And we're not going to worry about this shelf because, like I said, about this one up here, I've already read it from these two shelves, so we're not going to worry about them. Let's go to here. These books here is what I call the big bookshelf. The big books bookshelf, because most of them are pretty big. This is a new release, a new Ali Hazelwood release. Two can play. It's about two video game developers. I'm excited to read it. And then we have There Is No Anti-Memetics Club, or Division I should say. This one really caught my eye. It looks like a weird sci-fi horror type of thing. I'm not entirely sure how to describe it, but it kind of, I don't know if any of you are familiar with video gaming, but it kind of feels like SCP in a way where it's just like a whole heap of like weird stuff. And I got Atomic Noodle and The Will of the Many by James Islington. I do want to read that book. The Will of the Many. I just have a specific video idea for it. Operation Bounce House. That is a new release book and it's my first Matt Dinniman book, so I'll be curious to see if I actually enjoy his books, his writing. And I'm curious about it. It's really intrigued me. So there's that. And then you can see a lot of stuff here. We got an Australian author here. Stephen King's son, Joe Hill. This book here is kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, I think it is. I'm not sure if that's entirely correct, but that's just what I've heard. It's a 3-book bind-up. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell I have there. Watermoon, Hot Wax. I'm very excited to read more from Nat Cassidy. First book I read from him was Rest Stop, and I gave that one 5 stars. I loved it a lot. So I'm really curious to read more from him. Now we got onto the spinning bookcase. So down here we got some Olivia Blake. That's her standalones. Even though I've DNF'd the Atlas 6 trilogy, I'm still very, very intrigued and excited to read more books from her because I do like her writing. Up here you can see I got Margaret Atwood at the back there. This is kind of like a mishmash of sci-fi and one romance at the end right there. A bit more romance here with some weird girl fiction with Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh. I don't know when, but I do want to reread it because she does really, really good weird girl horror. Well, I really shouldn't say horror, but like weird lit fiction that I really, really like. My Ali Hazelwood collection. We stand Ali Hazelwood in this household. I've not read Mate yet. This is like my bookshop's exclusive edition. Not exclusive edition, but I guess you could kind of say exclusive edition, but the writing and this lady's shirt here is green and it's purple. The one I have, because that's the special edition that they have of it. And I do have Bride, and you could have gotten Bride in the same colorway as Mate, but I just decided, no, I'm okay with that. And I loved Bride. I thought it was a very good book. This is the first Ali Hazelwood book I read, and I loved it. I loved it more than I thought I was ever going to. Now we are getting to the Asian fiction area. Look at this edition of Vanishing World by Sayaka Murata. I really, really like this edition because you look at the spine is so different. I don't know if you can see that. You could probably just barely see it. But it's almost like invisible. I've heard non-stop amazing things about this book and I just have not read it yet. Some more Asian fiction here. So this one here is like Outlander meets Japan culture kind of thing, like outlined but make it Japanese. I have some little hardbacks here, and they fit really beautifully there. It's just like a little mishmash. We got some fantasy, some Japanese fiction, horror, a little mishmash right there. And then down here is just another little mishmash with the listeners and battle royale. We've got toxic lesbian vampires, another vampire book, and vampires without vampires. So I don't know what that means, but that's really intrigued me. Some Stephen King, fantasy, romance, historical fiction, and horror. Some more Stephen King here. This is his... I don't think this book will stay up. No, it won't. Okay. This is his fantasy. I know he has written the Dark Tower series, which is another fantasy series, or which is a fantasy series from him, I should say, that I've heard good things about. I've heard good things about this one. I've heard good things about the Dark Tower. And this is my book club, not my book club, one of my bookshops, like exclusive editions. I think the original is blue or something like that. It's like more blue, but this one's more purple. And those 3 books up here, I should be reading, and I should have read before April finishes, but I don't think I will get to. Oopsie daisy, but I've read these 3 books for a reading vlog where I read a chapter of a book. I actually think I've talked about it, so I won't rehash it, but I wanted to read these as soon as possible since they were still fresh in my mind and since I still enjoyed them, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. And just random poetry, classics, whatever have you, and Margaret Atwood with The Handmaid's Tale right down there. I think that's going to be it. I think that's all. That's all I wanted to talk about. Just talking about books that I have not read yet. Like I said, we're not going to be talking about the series because I don't really have too many books to read from there. And with that being said, let me know down below if there are any books that have intrigued you that you think I should read, that you want me to prioritize a little bit more. And I will see you in another video. Bye for now.